Roll Tide, everybody. Come on in, come on in. As you know, as loyal fans of the Crimson Tide, we can have the flashiest player, the biggest, fastest back, quarterback with the arm of a cannon. You know as well as I know, this team is going nowhere without the offensive line. One transfer that really has been stirring up conversation out there for the University of Alabama is Arkel and I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly because I am too old to be tussling with a guy of that size. And let's not pretend that this is some guy that's trying to be some kind of feel-good underdog study that's coming from my least favorite school, which is Ball State. I kid you, but that's a shot at the Graham Nicholson guy came down here from Ball State or whatever. I think. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. God bless you, Graham, wherever you are. Arkel is 6'6", 328 pounds. He was a mauler at Ball State, but stepping up to the big leagues kind of late in the game because Arkel, he's a sophomore now, and there's a real competition out there. We got all kind of guys. This guy's coming from Ball State, but you got other linemen that are Olas Elanine. He's coming from somewhere in Europe. Only picked up football maybe a couple of years ago. He's battling for positions out there, but Arkel seems to be going back and forth for that right tackle position that was held by Wilkin Formby. Now, Wilkin Formby didn't have the greatest of first seasons, but he got better as the season went on, and that first initial season in the SEC is over. So that makes him a vet out there. When you're looking at what Arkel's got to do, he has to come in there and really compete, stay on point. Because Wilkins, he can do it. He can do it, but you need backup. Coach Cap and Ryan Grubb, they want these guys to be able to, to be versatile. They want them to be able to pass, run block whenever. So we need depth. That may mean somebody may get 20% of the snaps at some of these positions other than center. So we got to have a little versatility out there. You may have a tackle that goes in for Proctor late in games to preserve Proctor for later. You may have guys, you may have to pull them out. Just to get them rest. If the game is at hand, we need you to go in there and not get my quarterback destroyed. So I would love to say we're going to have 10 guys ready to go at the drop of a hat. But outside of Olas, outside of Wilkin Formby, you got Arkel, you got Cam Dewberry, who I have a video coming up for. We also have Rock Montgomery. He's backing up the center, I think, but he also plays guard. Then you got the young guns coming in. You got Jackson Lloyd and Michael Carroll, and Michael Carroll is just nasty. He's a freshman, and I'm cheering for that guy. That man says he wants to make a pipeline to the University of Alabama straight from IMG Academy. And I like the sound of that. I'm sure you do too. Roll Tide to you, Mr. Carroll. But this guy's a mauler. Arkel Anguam, he's a mauler. He comes from Antioch, Tennessee, Antioch High School. He is a force. He's a trench warrior. He's been in it for 3 years, and he has zero tolerance for mediocrity. He's a prototype SEC tackle. Why wasn't he highly recruited to the SEC before then? I don't know what that was about, but he's here now. He's a redshirt sophomore, so he has 2 more years to go. And we definitely need somebody that can lock down that end, because we know we're probably losing Proctor. Losing Proctor after this year. I'm not an NFL analyst, but they talking first round. So when they talking first round, you got to take care of mama. Whoever that lady was that nurtured you, guardian, and daddies too. But you got to take care of mom. But Arkel, he has a lower body. It's built for leverage. His upper body is built for punishment. He's not just big, just that he's imposing. He's an imposing figure at 6'6". He plays off the line in a brawler type of way, kind of like a street fight. He thrived in the running game, just burying defenders, keeping an appropriate pad level, even at 6'6". He gets down where he can just mow right over people. It sounds vicious, but hey, that's what it takes in the SEC. That's what we need, especially if we go back to actually establishing not only a run game, but a run reputation for the University of Alabama. This guy has heavy hands, a nasty streak, and when it says finesse, he's zero finesse. He has no interest in being finessing along that offensive line. That's what we need. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Arkel, he could just as easily go into a guard position or a tackle position, but I just want the nastiest folks up there that can work together. Just support Parker at the center and everything he's doing, and let's just make it happen. He played in all the snaps last season for Ball State, or at least he played in 4 of them. And Pro Football Focus, they graded him. It didn't grade him that high. In the 4 games that he played in, they said his pass blocking grade was 42. That's not good. And it's 64 in the run grade. I don't know how he even transferred. How was he accepted as a transfer based on those numbers? But one thing I can tell you about Coach Cap and Caleb DeBoer and Ryan Grubb, well, Ryan Grubb wasn't there when he decided to come over, but Coach Cap, they think they know that they can pull something out of the players that's not there, or they can help train them how they should go. And if they can't, then they tried. But I think they really see something. He wasn't perfect last year, but he was noticeable. And that's more than you can say than most of the MAC linemen. They disappear after week 3 in the MAC. Nobody cares what high school they went to, what state championship they won. People usually go to the MAC. Maybe they pop up for the NFL, but a lot of people just disappear. But he caught our eye at the University of Alabama, and the coaches, when they saw him in the portal, they said, hey, we'll give it a go. And here we are. Like I said, our offensive line room is pretty stacked with talent, but because of the run numbers, I do not think that we get the credit that we deserve. And let's just be honest, we know we got 3 starters, starting with Caden Proctor, Elijah Pritchard, and also Parker Brailsford at center. Wilkin Formby, I think he's going to start, but like I say, it's iffy. It is iffy because he didn't just have bad plays. He didn't have a bunch of bad plays, but half of his bad plays were kind of catastrophic. But Tennessee game, first year starting, Arkel's going to have to work really hard to really put a 4-star, 5-star, and a previous starter on the bench. But he has evidence. They looked at the film and they think he's supposed to be there. The negatives that he's working with is like his pass protection. He's going to need some refinement, pad level discussion when it comes to the offensive, the pass offense, and he has limited game collegiate snaps. So he's definitely kind of a project guy, but they think this guy has a serious upside. He has that frame. They say he don't have a problem with running a gap blocking speed. He doesn't have a problem with gap schemes when it comes to run blocking and the physicality. And he's also a multi-sport athlete in that he played basketball, which usually means he has pretty good feet. When you have good footwork, you can do a lot of stuff. He's been durable, high motor, doesn't have any injuries that are noted. And like I said, he's a grinder. He got the size, he got the mindset and raw tools to be built into a starter. So whether it happens this year or next year, I definitely think he's going to add some real depth to the program. And only time will tell if he breaks into that starting lineup or he becomes a 6th, 7th man option when it's time to rotate in. But I'm looking forward to see what impact he can have really in the second half of the season, especially if knock on wood, we have any type of injury along the line. You know, things get to shifting around then. But like I said, that's a deep room. It's just unproven because people didn't like the production that we had last year. But I have a feeling after the first 4 games, I think they're going to view our entire team as elite, like scary elite. Like, I don't know if there are 3 teams I can think of that could stop them. I think that will be very evident by game 4. Everybody knows from game 5 to game 12, they will know they have been blessed by God if they beat the University of Alabama. Yep, I said it. I'm not saying we're going 12-0, but you better bring your A plus game to face up against the University of Alabama, led by Kalen DeBoer in 2025. And that's all I got about this. See you on my next video. Good luck to you, Arkel and Guam. And for everybody else, always remember, roll, tide, roll.